Hi everyone, I wanted to have a conversation about gambling. Gambling in Australia is a grave concern. It's something which impacts a large portion of the society, in fact. Now, I worked as a gambling counsellor many years ago when the gambling rehab, what was it called? The Gambling Rehab Counselling Service was first started. And at that particular point in time, we didn't know all that much about how to counsel around gambling and what were the primary issues that were concerning most people. But I became very much aware that the concerns are wide-ranging and impact people, not just the family, but people external to the family are impacted by that because of the damage done to individuals because of gambling. That is the impact on them in terms of their mental well-being, how they're functioning in society generally, and how they're reacting or interacting with others. Now, the primary concern for us back then, and is still today, is the desire that governments have in order to earn as much money as they can from the gambling industry. In fact, it's fair to say that governments are just as dependent upon gambling as what individuals seem to be. The addiction that governments have towards gambling is extreme. In South Australia, the gambling rehab program identified the major source of gambling as being poker machines. I believe that currently it's horse racing. That used to be further down the ladder, so clearly horse racing and other similar sports are attracting a lot of gamblers, and particularly sports betting. Now, one of the issues that I have right now is because sports betting seems to have taken over with the advent of streaming services, Foxtel and so on. There is a lot of advertising and a lot of sports being broadcast these days. And because of that, there are a lot of advertisements go on. In fact, there was a report recently where something like 890 ads were sporting ads or betting ads were placed in one day. The amount of money that these promoters are pouring into, or these gambling organisations are pouring into the media through their advertising is immense. And the reason why this is so is that because they realise that even though 33 to 40% of the population gamble on a regular basis, there are more for the taking, and particularly young people. So the focus now is on sports, which a lot of young people watch, a range of sports which covers almost everybody, from netball, cricket to football to NRL and so on, so that they can capture this particular market. The problem is that gambling is going to increase in this country to the point whereby the problem gamblers, the number of people that have issues with gambling, that lose their homes, their livelihoods and their families, are going to find that that cohort of people is going to increase considerably. So we need to do something about it. We need to fight this scourge. We need to make sure that governments find other ways to receive revenue as opposed through taxation income. We were able to do it with regard to the smoking industry, where we banned smoking at venues. It's going to be a little bit harder, I think, to do that with regard to gambling. Smoking advertising, Benson Hedges and so forth were eventually banned. Everybody kicked up a fuss about it to start with because they wondered where the money was going to come from after they pulled out. But gambling has kind of slipped into that forgotten niche. Even though we know that they can't gamble, they can't provide advertisements for gambling during football matches, but they certainly do a lot of it before and during the intervals or half time. So they're looking at a way by which, or gambling industry is at least looking at a way by which they can encapsulate more and more people, trap more and more people into gambling. The reality is that if you gamble, you're the sucker, because the only people that benefit from gambling are those people providing those so-called services. So if gambling was such a great idea and it was something from which we all could benefit, then we would probably all be into it. But we're not, because there are far, far more losers than there are winners. And winning is just a dream. That's all it is. No one's ever made a fortune from gambling apart from those who are in the industry, who provide the services such as casinos, TABs, racing facilities, gambling hotels. Those are the people that are making the money. They're the barons that are earning the money from the gambling. So I think we should do something about challenging that. And we should start putting forward a campaign which says, if you gamble, you're going to lose. Rather than gamble responsibly, which is a pretty innocuous sort of statement. But what are you going to lose if you gamble? We need to make the awareness greater, and we need to talk to people more about problem gambling, how it's likely to impact you and others, and what you can do if you have a gambling problem to stop. But let's not go there in the first place. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you like the video, I would then like you to just subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for future notifications. And also, down below, you'll find my email address. If you wish to contact me via email, please do so. Be happy to have a chat with you about any of the things that I talk about here on this channel. Take care. Catch you later. Bye.